everyone. Welcome to This Day. It is Friday and it is September 24th. We don't have any meetings to tell you about, so we're just going to jump to who's on our show. We have a United update with Diane Casey, and then we talk to Kathy of the History Center, and she goes way back to tell us how it all got started, what they have there, and how you can visit the History Center and use them for some of their archives. So really cool stuff. All right, let's take a look at our weather. We have cooled down quite a bit, considering how hot it was the last few days. Today, we are only looking at a high of about 82 with an overnight of 64. And then tomorrow, 79, 63. Sunday, 77, 63. Monday looking very nice with a 76, 61. And then Tuesday, 75, 65. If you are traveling in California, you may want to take a look at these numbers. Things are looking pretty good. We've got local beaches at 73, 62. Santa Barbara, 68, 57. San Diego, 74, 66. Tahoe, 73, 40. Mammoth, 74, 34. So they are getting lower in the overnight temperatures. And Big Bear, 68, 40. Palm Springs and Las Vegas are still holding in the 90s, 95, 72, and 94, 70. Our sunrise this morning was at 6:41, and our sunset will be at 6:44. And thank you, Mark, for sending in this behind-the-scenes photo of Woodstock that just happened this past weekend, and so very exciting. And we've got a couple of pictures, and plus I think Cindy Whitney was out there asking lots of questions, and so they'll have some footage for one of her episodes. So if you have a photo you would like to share with us, please email it to Laguna Woods Village TV at gmail.com. When we return, we will have Diane with the United update, so stick around.
For more than 30 years, Active Care has been providing the highest level of care to residents with Alzheimer's or other memory loss. We specialize in memory care. That's our sole focus. With 3 levels of care and an engaging activity program, Active Care enhances life for every resident every day. Our newest community, Active Care Laguna Hills, will open this fall. We're now accepting reservations. Call 949-877-8233 to learn more.
Beautiful weather is here, and nothing should stop you from getting outside and doing what you love with who you love, especially arthritic pain and fibromyalgia. At OC Vitality Acupuncture and Integrative Medicine, our experienced and compassionate doctors offer innovative and personalized medical solutions to treat your pain and stiffness. We're conveniently located right next to the Laguna Woods Community Center.
I'm Dr. Dimitri Gruer. Give us a call today to see how we can help you get out of pain and get back to living.
Captain America.
Watch HGTV.
Netflix.
have Diane Casey here for the United Update. Well, Diane, thank you for joining me again.
Okay, thank you.
You're welcome, you're welcome. So, there's a lot of things that are going on all the time with all of the boards.
Sure.
And of course, you have lots of different issues and committees and things like that. So maybe you can give us kind of a rundown of what's happening with those.
Okay. Yeah, I would like to talk about the committees and how you can get involved and what are our issues. So the one committee that I've been on is the Finance Committee, and three of the issues that I think are important are insurance, mortgage loans, and stock certificates. So over the last few months, we have had issues with insurance that our insurance increased, and we started looking into alternate companies to represent us, and then we discovered a lot about the valuation of our property has gone up a lot.
Yeah.
And insurance companies have had a lot of problems with fires and destruction and losses. So, they've been raising rates, and so one of the issues about raising the rates to have full replacement value has caused a problem for us in our mortgages, getting mortgages with our bank.
Oh, really?
Right, because it's a federal issue with Fannie Mae and Freddie Mac that they want full replacement value, which our valuation, I think, is over $1 billion.
Oh, yeah.
And so how do we pay that every year?
Right.
So we've been looking at all kinds of solutions, and I think we really need to start lobbying, talking to, the CAI, which represents homeowners associations, because we're a big retirement community, and so we need to have some representation. And I know our attorney is going to write letters for the board members to send, but maybe it's a letter we could all send.
Right, so you said it was the homeowners association type thing and the real estate association, but what about like your local representatives?
Yes.
Can they help?
Yeah, I would say so.
Okay.
Just getting that, looking at how we can do that.
I see.
Maybe that's going to be an ad hoc committee you can get involved in.
Oh, yeah. Well, you never know. I mean, everything can help, I'm sure.
Right. So that is one of the issues, and hopefully we can resolve that.
Okay.
So the other issue that I've been made aware of more is on stock certificates. For United, we are a co-op, and so we have a stock certificate, and so it's very important that we know where that is at all times.
Oh, I see.
If it's not with the lender, until the loan is paid off, then we probably have it, and we need to have that stock certificate in case the property is going to be sold at some point.
I see.
And otherwise, there's issues where you have to get a bond with an insurance company based on the valuation.
Okay.
So that's an important issue. So
Sure.
make sure you keep that handy
Yeah.
in a place you remember, and your loved ones know where it is too.
Oh, gotcha. Absolutely.
Yeah.
Okay.
So one of the other issues is this committee for maintenance and construction. So two things that I think are important are plumbing and appliances. So our infrastructure has gotten old, and our plumbing needs some work, and sometimes it's just a matter of fixing an immediate problem. But if you have a lot of immediate problems, then that should be addressed as a possible solution. I know my son and daughter-in-law lived in a community over here in Mission Viejo, and they had to replace all the pipes. Now, they're not as big as us.
Yeah, that would be a lot of replacing.
That would be a lot. That would be a lot. I recently had a pipe break, so, I know they're old.
Yeah, they are.
And so, getting involved in, making people aware of, how to put in a comment to the our services to get things looked at. I know people have problems where, in a building where all the water flows down from different units into, maybe a unit downstairs, gets clogged and things like that. And so
Right.
a lot of times it's issues of user error, putting things in the toilets that block the
Yeah.
plumbing. And so, it's good. And then the appliances are important too, because we have one supplier, which is GE. And, right now with COVID, we've had a lot of shortages in parts that have been
Sure.
stuck in LA or
On a ship.
on a ship.
One of the 70 ships that are out there. It's true.
I know.
So many things. It's crazy.
I know. I went up to San Pedro, and you could not believe how many containers there are.
Wow.
Thousands and thousands of containers sitting there.
Wow.
So, and our parts might be on there.
Yep, could be.
But then again, also they're old, and so GE is discontinuing things, and so if you're having a problem with your appliances,
Yeah.
definitely talk to maintenance and construction.
Yeah.
And they have meetings. Maybe when we get back to doing our board meetings inside, and I remember at times it would be overflowing with people. They'd have an overflow room. So many people wanted to come to the
Yeah,
meetings.
yeah.
And so now they do have a Zoom, where you
Right.
could do both, a hybrid, or you could email your questions that they read and answer on the board meetings and the committee meetings. So, it's good to get involved. The other is landscaping.
That's a big one.
Yeah, so we have a lot of trees. We have 30,000 trees, and that requires water. And right now, I see a lot of the trees are in distress. Especially our pine trees. We have these beautiful pine trees. There's over 1,100 of them, and they talk about taking down some of them because they're either too close to others, like planted like in a little forest, or. But trees do help our environment a lot, because when you take those trees down, the ground is hot and it creates more heat.
Oh.
And so we're lucky to have trees that either help shelter our homes,
Right.
and keep those cooler, or help with the ground cover. So, doing walkthroughs with the landscape committee would be a great thing to get involved in.
Oh, yeah.
So people can get involved in so many ways. Irrigation too, if you happen to see water that's being overused or pooling up. I mean, they have the crews going around. You can let them know. So what and governing documents.
Yes.
Yeah, that's another issue that we have to be in compliance with the regulations. And so they've been working on doing that, going through and being up to code. And so that's a big commitment to the board to get that done. And
Right.
I'm sure it has to be done for United and GRF
Oh, yeah.
and Third, so they're all working on it. And I had the opportunity to work on that too, and it was very, very interesting. There's a lot of reading that you could do
Yeah.
as a homeowner, so, but we don't tend to do it. So, but it's good to get involved.
Okay.
Yeah. So, and
then kind of like you have a GRF committee.
yeah, now GRF does have a lot of committees,
Yeah.
and they have their own documents that they review. And I just looked on the website, and I saw a great place to find those documents.
Right.
And see what's required.
But if you are on the board of a mutual, can you participate in a committee with GRF, even if you're on a different board?
I have been involved in GRF committees before. I
Okay.
never was on anything or
Oh,
did
I see.
anything.
Okay.
But I was invited to join the finance committee
I see.
as just a non-voting
Gotcha.
resident.
Okay.
And so it was very, very interesting because we had our investment company presenting, and I was able to, because I have a finance background,
Right.
I'm a CPA, so I was able to ask a lot of questions. And,
Yeah.
and then there was an ad hoc committee formed, and
Okay.
they were looking more at, maybe switching.
Oh, I see. Okay.
Yeah,
Well,
so-
there's a lot of opportunity, like you said,
Yeah.
and each board has their issues and problems and solutions that they all come up with, and
Yeah.
so definitely being a part is kind of great for your community, right? To be
Yeah.
involved. So that's awesome.
Very good. Yeah,
Thank
it's very
you.
good.
Thank you so much for the
Okay.
information. I appreciate it.
Oh, thank you. Thank you for
right.
having me.
You're welcome.
Okay.
And remember, there is an election coming up, so you want to make sure that you get all of your ballots in by September 30th for both 3rd and United. We'll be right back. Welcome back. Well, today I am joined by Kathy Bryant, who is here on behalf of the History Center. Well, Kathy, thank you for joining us today.
Well, thank you for the opportunity to share the History Center with our community. I appreciate it.
Well, you're welcome. We were over at the library when they first opened back up, and we did notice that the History Center is right next door to the library. So we're like, you know what? We should talk to them about what happens at the History Center, what you guys feature, and just how it all works. So thanks for joining us.
Well, it's my pleasure. It's a little known secret that we're trying to get out and make more apparent in the community. We did organize and start in 1976 as the Historical Society, and that was formed because Ross Cortese and the Rossmore Corporation were starting to wind down on construction in the community. They were working on the 110s, which was the last area that was developed. And they wanted to place information and documents and pictures somewhere. So the Historical Society was formed, and they took that in, and that's how it started. They were in several little places, like the library and a lot of other things were bounced to different rooms because there wasn't a lot available then. And eventually it was recognized because of how much we were getting, how much information was being given to us, that we needed to build our own building. 2015 is when we remodeled.
Okay.
But it's been here, and actually this building is part of two buildings that are attached. They built the portico over the front so that it looks like one building, but we are separate buildings. GRF donated the land. Donations from then Historical Society members put the money together to build the building, and then it was donated to the Golden Rain Foundation. So the building belongs to the community. Inside, we are a separate organization.
Okay. All right. Well, it sounds great. I'm glad you were able to get your own center, because you do have a lot of things in there that really sort of, depicts what the village was, what it is now, and, the transition that was made over those many, many years. Tell me some of the things that you guys highlight.
Well, what we do is highlight in maintaining information is done separate, two different ways. One is through physical archives in the back building, which are kept at 70 degrees and between 30 and 50% humidity to save them from deteriorating.
Okay.
And then we have digital archives. And as you might guess, that is the coming thing. Mm-hmm. This was brought forward recently when the malware attacked the community. We're on a separate network, so there was a lot of information that was saved, and a lot of information we found out was lost. And because no one had thought to send those files to us to save. But that is our real goal, is to save items from not just Laguna Woods, but before, like what happened before us, and to network with Orange County, other Orange County groups. We are actually the only purpose-built archive in the county. And so we try to make everything available for not only our residents to do research, but also for historians that can contact us. So we reach out to other organizations as well. And we're always looking for volunteers. We need people. This community, I know from my years here, because I was on the United Board and on the Foundation Board and a few other things, volunteers run this community. We don't govern it, but we really run it. And it's important. Volunteers have always been very important, and we need some people that maybe have some computer skills that could come and put in information, help us. Maybe we can extend some hours, but right now we work with a very small volunteer crew. So.
Okay. Well, you know, I mean, that is true. There are a lot of volunteers here, and I've met so many great people, and, you know, it's nice to stay active. So, you know, when you're talking about having a volunteer come, I mean, a lot of people here have computer skills and they love to talk to people. And so I would imagine you should be able to get some great folks in there. Now, let me ask you something. Who actually visits the History Center?
That's a good question. We get people that just, I had a gentleman walk in yesterday and said, "What do you do here?" Well, it starts there. A lot of folks find out of us online because we have a great website. Also, they can reach us through the Laguna Woods website, the village website. And a lot of folks are just coming to the library and they see the lights on and they want to know. Some come specifically because they've read about us and they maybe had someone that lived in the village before. They wanted to find out if there was any information about them. And that's always charming because a lot of times we get to help. A real quick story, there was a gentleman that contacted us from England. He had just found out that his birth father was a GI. And this was a couple of years ago. And he contacted us because he understood his birth father lived in Laguna Woods and there might have been something done. And we did have archives. We had done an interview with his birth father. Unfortunately, he had died before he was able to meet him, but we were able to send him a copy to have. Those are the really nice things about reaching out. Once in a while, we'll have somebody bring in, which is great, from they're cleaning out a manor. They found paperwork for a Broadway producer, manuscripts and just great things. Well, we don't really have any place for that because it doesn't follow our ideas here, but we have enough contacts that we found a university in Texas that had a whole archive section on that particular producer.
Oh, interesting. That is great. What a great network you have. Maybe the History Center should be on the tour, you know, when new people move in.
The History Center is exactly on the tour, and that's why the diorama, and being a docent myself, I'm very proud to bring people here. It is a chance for them to look at the diorama and see the community as a whole. Right. And it gives them an idea, as before we get started too far on the bus and all the chatter starts, it gives them an opportunity to get a little background. And I also talk about the History Center and what we do for the community. And it's important that people know we do things for them as well. I don't know if you can see right behind me. That's an anniversary book. And that was done all by volunteers. The photos, everything written. It was a real heartfelt, over a year it took to produce that book. We still have a couple available at $50 each if anybody wants them. Okay. And we also store club here in our archive in the humidity and temperature controlled back room in the archives. And that's $50 a year. And that's great for clubs because a lot of times you'll find, as I did as a past president, I ended up with 4 or 5 binders of information. Well, this is a place where they can store that for that. So we do things for the community as well. They can check us out at our website, which is LagunaWoodsHistory.org, or send us any questions and communicate at the info@LagunaWoodsHistory.org. But not only did we do the 50th anniversary book, but we did the tree guides.
Oh, yeah.
That's all volunteer work, and we still have some of those available. We may have to go into a third printing before long, but since budget is a big factor, the board will have to sit down. We have a board of trustees, and they'll sit down and they'll look at the quality of what we're doing as relates to the community and our mission. So that's a wonderful thing. We also have, we've had some wonderful speakers come into the community. Richard Dodd is a well-known Orange County architect, and he came in and spoke to, there was a lot of interest in people would come in and say, who designed these buildings? And so he gave us a great background on mid-century modern, because that was his focus. Then we had a great showing of Nellie Gale Moulton's artwork and her niece Jane Barnes, and that was very well received. We thought we'd have it here for 2 weeks. We had it for 5.
Oh, wow.
And we had over 200 people show up the first night, which was wonderful.
Wow, that's great.
And so there's a lot of interest, not only just in Nellie Gale, who happened to live in a United Mutual manor for a while where she did painting. So she was a resident for a while. And we have a great connection with the Moulton family and doing different things with them. And they also had a showing that night of videos and some artifacts from the ranch. And there's a lot of interest in the Moulton family and what happened here.
Yeah, well, that's great. I mean, the History Center is very active. You've got lots of things going on. And so everyone should take an opportunity to go visit you and see what you guys are all about.
Well, I hope so. We're open Monday through Friday, just from 11 to 1, because we are pretty lightly staffed at this point with volunteers. But one of the most important things people can do is go to our website. And the website is incredible because it has a lot of information. It's getting better all the time, because that is the future where people want to research.
Yeah.
And so we're trying to make our website more open and available and researchable. And in doing that, we have to be very careful how much we spend in doing those types of things. So, and that goes back to the fact that we are a nonprofit. We don't get any money from any assessments in the village. So everything is done by donor, and they can donate through our website. There's a big donate button they can push and use a credit card. They come in person and donate. They can mail a check to us at P.O. Box 2220 in Laguna Woods 92654. Or maybe they would consider that us in their will as an endowment. That would really help us.
All right.
That would help us. So,
that's perfect. Well, thank you so much. It was really great to talk with you.
It's good to talk to you, and I appreciate the effort you made to get a hold of me today.
You're welcome. All right. Thank you again.
You bet.
And we will be right back after this.
At Harvard Eye Associates, we are committed to your vision care and quality of life.
It's a commitment we don't take lightly.
Our trusted team of doctors provides specialized eye care using state-of-the-art technology.
We deliver what matters to you
and your family.
Harvard Eye Associates, the future of vision today.